Guys, today we have a very special, amazing guest in the building. He is a YouTube content creator, a YouTube personality, all the way from Miami, okay?
Yeah.
We have Stacy in the house.
Hey, what's good, people? Good people, how you doing? Over there, love to the UK. Part of the reason why I enjoy it so much is that you guys are so close to the culture, to the roots when it comes to Africa and stuff like that. We don't have that much over here in the States.
How are you finding the season so far? How are you finding season 5?
Everyone's fighting to have their opinion being felt. So it's a great spectacle to watch. But sometimes it get a little crazy. Because they saying things to be heard, but sometimes they say some wild stuff and they have to put it back a little bit.
You had Shelby talking about men are leeches. You had Lani talking about, men should be worshipping the grounds that we walk on. What do you make of these statements?
So it's best on you to make sure whatever circle that you put yourself in, the men that's around that circle, around that hive, they are men that aren't leeches. You should only worship God, but you should still respect your woman. Putting someone on a pedestal, that could be kind of dangerous.
If your lady wanted to go to Walmart with a bonnet on, is that an issue? Is that a problem?
Yeah. It's a problem. People want that as well. I want stickers. I want all those things. But what am I doing to put myself in a position to get those things? You can want what you want, but can you get it?
Would you be okay with your lady making 3 times more and you being the staying-at-home husband?
Okay, we were going good until you said stay-at-home husband. I can't do it. I'm ambitious. I have my journey, and I know where I want to go. So I can't be a stay-at-home husband. I can't do that.
But then she's giving you pocket money. You're getting some pocket money. She's giving you some money.
I don't want no pocket money for my lady. Like, come on.
I had to agree with Deanie. We bring a whole lot to the table.
Okay.
A whole lot.
You think that's a thing as a woman? Do you think you have to compete for the man that you want?
We love Benny McCauley. Hello, cutie.
Hey guys, today we have a very special, amazing guest in the building. He is a YouTube content creator, a YouTube personality, all the way from Miami, okay?
Yeah.
We have Stacy in the house.
Hey, what's good, people? Good people, how you doing? Over there, love to the UK.
First off, let me just say thank you for coming to my platform. I know you're very busy. You have a busy schedule. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me. This should be a very, very interesting, fun conversation. So let's get to it whenever you're ready.
So I came across your Bkchat reaction videos, and I was like, oh my God, this guy is so lit. I need to have him on my platform. And I was so intrigued on how much you enjoy Black UK content, Black UK shows, just Black UK culture, even the Black UK scene.
Yeah, man. To be honest, I think part of the reason why I enjoy it so much is that you guys are so close to the culture, to the roots when it comes to Africa and stuff like that. We don't have that much over here in the States. We're more so closer to when it comes to Caribbean culture, and the Caribbean culture is strong in the UK. But the actual have this generation be so close to the roots. It's really interesting to see. So I love it, and plus the content is great as well. So.
As far as even talking about the UK slang, you be using the UK slang oh, I'm in the ends. I'm
listen, I love the UK. A lot of my very first subscribers came from the UK. So we've had a lot of conversations in the DMs, on live and stuff like that. I play the video game with them sometimes. So everything we be hanging out, we be chilling. So I rock to the UK heavy. I love it. That's fam.
Amazing. We'd love to see it. And I feel like a lot of American influencers and a lot of American YouTubers, they love reacting to what we do in the UK, whether it's music, whether it's UK content. You guys really mess with us for real.
Interesting. It's a culture shock. It's a culture. So it's like seeing people that look like you. It's the same thing like with Damson Idris, hearing him talk for the first time. You're like, what the hell? So you become hooked because it's like someone that's like you, but it's brand new as far as their culture. So you become intrigued. My very first thing diving into any UK culture was an old original Bkchat London cast when Nunu went viral and she said she let a man lick her bread. So from that point I've been hooked from that point.
I love Nunu, but that's what brings me to my next question. I wanted to ask you, like, are you familiar with the previous Bkchat seasons?
Yes.
So
I went through a little dry spell of not seeing much. I was watching like I guess season 2 and 3, but at whatever point when they put up a paywall, that's when I stopped seeing as many videos. I don't. It was tough for it to go viral, so it wasn't reaching my eyes. But then I wasn't seeing as much. When I started doing much more UK content, and then I started seeing more Bkchat people on there from that point. So, and that's when it made me start watching Bkchat again. This last season is probably the first season. It's definitely the first season that I've watched since they did the Bkchat when they went into the reality TV show vibe.
Oh, so when they went to Cyprus, is that the one?
That's the last one I seen before this season right here.
Oh, okay. So it's been a while. It's been quite a minute. So, like, I wanted to ask you, how are you finding the season so far? How are you finding season 5? Because I know that the season is slowly coming to an end. Yeah. So they've only got a few episodes left. And then, like, that's it. How are you finding the cast members?
I'm liking it because it's all cool. Seeing, understanding new perspectives, and fearless, and a good amount of them has already built their small platforms on their own. So the fearless people come into that one little room, and everyone's fighting to have their pain being felt. So it's a great spectacle to watch. But sometimes it get a little crazy because, like, you know, they saying things to be heard, but sometimes they say some wild stuff and they have to put it back a little bit. So sometimes be caught off guard, you know, not understand. I take with a grain of salt when I do my reaction. So sometimes I fight off like, what the hell are you talking about? It surprises me as well. So, you know, it's cool. I'm liking it. I'm getting to know this cast and I'm liking it a lot.
Do you feel like this season was one of those seasons, like, it brought us back to season 1, season 2? Or was it just a chilled, nice season?
One thing I would say about this season that the characters, I would say they're more so unselfish, or they stick to the topic more than anything. The last came very, very, very territorial as far as people trying to make their brands, the original cast. So when it came to them fighting and the beefs and stuff like that, it was kind of intense. This cast, I would say, it's not that many beefs, and they stick to the topics and then each other. So everything they're saying is pretty good. I could take it better than the previous cast. They were disrespectful to each other. The first cast, it was things that if you just didn't like the person, you didn't care what they said at all.
Yeah.
And then teams and stuff like that, you know. You if you remember the original cast, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I can definitely agree as well. I feel like the last this cast, actually, even when I interviewed some of them, they seem like they get along, even like behind the cameras. They are quite cool behind the cameras. Now, if you look at season 1 and season 2, everybody was fighting, like on camera. They were just fighting, and it just didn't make sense because it's a debate show. So I feel like a lot of it was very personal. But with this one, they can separate the both. So that's what I like about it. It's more, they might be young. Some of them are a bit young, but they're quite mature. They know how to handle the conversations. Which brings me to my next question, actually. What was, like, your favorite debate? What was your favorite episode? I'm sure I have a few in mind because I've watched your reaction videos. But which one was your favorite, like your top favorite episode and debate?
My favorite episodes has to be between the episodes where they discuss the wife making way more than the husband. That was a good episode. And the last episode when it came to, what was the last topic? The very last topic.
Oh, wait, hold on. I know what you're talking about. The compromising, the settling.
Yeah, that one. That one. Good episode right there. That was a good episode right there. Women, every women who are single.
Yeah, no woman is single by choice.
That one right there. That was a good episode. That was a crazy episode. I like that one.
So why did you enjoy that one?
Just because it was interesting seeing people. It was interesting seeing them go to a touchy topic and see how they danced around. And some people are very, very honest. Some people was beating around the bush, and then some people got very emotional about it. But when it comes to that topic right there, it's all about semantics. I think every woman is single by choice.
Okay, but I wanted to ask you. So basically, that was one of my favorite debates as well. Mm-hmm. So in terms of like the cast members, everybody had different views, right? So you had Shelby talking about men are leeches. You had Lani talking about, men should be worshipping the grounds that we walk on. What do you make of these statements? Like, how do you feel about Lani making statements like that? And you got Shelby saying that as well. And then you have Deanie talking about, she's single because she wants to be single. She's working on herself. Like, what do you make of these different views and different statements that they were making?
All right. So first, when it comes to Shelby's situation, you have anecdotal experiences, and sometimes when people ask you questions, you express those, you project those things out, and give answers based on your anecdotal personal experiences.
Yeah.
I do not think all men are leeches, but you may come across some men that are. So it's best on you to make sure whatever circle that you put yourself in, the men that's around that circle, around that hive, they are men that aren't leeches. And it's vice versa. Now, to Lonnie's statement saying that we should worship the ground that a woman walks on, I disagree. We should only worship God, but you should still respect your woman. You should give her all the respect that she deserves. If you chose her to be your woman, if you chose woman, that she deserves everything that you should offer for as provision, leadership, protection, all those things. You choose her, you give all those things, but just straight up putting someone on a pedestal, that could be kind of dangerous. That could be kind of dangerous in my opinion, but that should be vice versa for men as well. You shouldn't be putting any human on no pedestal. You shouldn't do that.
Interesting. So back to Shelby. Shelby was saying that, you guys don't even know how to pay bills in the house, rent in the house, electric. Now, for me, I feel like, why would you put yourself through that? Why would you be with a person that haven't got their life together, that haven't got their stuff together? Do you feel like, when you're in your 20s, it's all about figuring your life out? Yeah. You're working on yourself, you're building yourself, you're building for your future. Do you feel like people in their 20s should focus being single and not get themselves into relationships?
I honestly think it's different between men and women, and this is the reason why. The expectations for men and women in relationships are different. In a relationship, she's expected to be a competent adult, to be able to take care of herself, make sure she can feed herself, she can make sure she's able to have room and board, make sure she has somewhere to live and transportation, and that's bare minimum as far as what you expect from a competent woman as an adult. And he's expected to be able to take care of himself, and he's also ranked based on his ability to provide for a woman and provide. It's just the way it is. It may not be what people want it to be, but most women prefer to go for a man that's like that. Now, as far as how it works in life, it takes shorter amount of time to put yourself in position to be able to just take care of yourself. It takes a amount of time to be able to put yourself in position to take care of a family. So that's women are probably more ready at a younger age than a man will be. So those things to consideration, that's just how it just lines up. A woman in her 20s, she's going to be looking her best, and she probably has a better chance of placing herself in position to take care of herself and be ready to be full out of the relationship and make herself available for a man, and not be looked at as her position where she is in life as any negative thing, because she can have no money and still be a great wife. A guy, he's ranked based on his ability to provide, and it takes a little longer time for him to be able to do that,
which is very interesting, because a lot of women, even on the show, a lot of women want a man that has it together, a man that actually has everything financially, that that are like they're basically together in terms of like physically, emotionally, in all aspects in their 20s, you know? And you know what I mean? So it's like, yes, you can be able to build together, but it's like, do you agree that it's probably like the woman that's doing most of the building, that's holding the man down, that's putting her priorities to the side and her goals and dreams to the side to basically build a man up? Do you think that's the issue?
It can be, but because it's the thing about it. When a woman's younger and in her prime, as far as her looks and her value, as far as just how she looks, she has more men that want her. So at the point she chooses to be with the guy that doesn't have everything together, or at a point in time, it may be more stress on her because she has more suitors, more people that's trying to get at her, and then she chooses, "All right, I'm gonna rock out with this guy," and that can build resentment if that guy never hands out to reach his potential. That's why it's tough when women decide to be with men based on potential, because you never know. And it can build resentment. So I don't put it on women to, as far as just straight up build a man. I don't. Sometimes you got to have a man has to find his own way. He has to island to let a woman come park her luxury yacht on that island. If not, then you don't really go through life the right way. You don't really figure things out as far as the ups and stuff like that, especially when you're depending on women are more emotional about certain things. So when it comes to based on how you doing in your life, and as far as the rocky roads, now you did your emotions bouncing back from that, and her emotions and stuff like that when it comes to that. So it can be tough. It can be really tough. So women are able to help men as far as find their way. They are. I don't want to say that it's not possible, but I do think it takes a lot on the man on his own to be able to look at myself and say, I got to get these things done, whether she's here or not.
So do you agree that women should stop going for a man that are leeches then?
Yes, definitely.
And then maybe they can stop complaining.
Exactly.
Which is very interesting because, you know, Ikra had a whole lot to say about she wanted a man with 7 figures. She wanted to be a housewife. What do you make of those statements? Do you agree? I mean,
people want that as well. I want figures. I want all those things. But what am I doing to put myself in a position to get those things? You can want what you want, but can you get it?
Ooh.
If she can get that, then it is what it is. That's all praise to her. So she put herself in position to get those things, and I'm all for it. It's just that everybody could have the most aspirations in the world. It's just, are you doing your best to put yourself in position to get those? That's all. I can't fault her for wanting that. I can't.
Interesting. So do you feel like some of the men, when they were reacting to some of the things that she said, it was like a bit like they were kind of like, it was more of an ego thing, that they were threatened, like, you know, they're not able to afford a woman like Ikra. So then they had a whole lot to say, because they were saying like, how can you just be a housewife and things like that? Because it can mean both ways. Maybe she can earn her own money, but she expects the man to be the main breadwinner, the provider, right? I mean, is there anything wrong with that?
No, it's not, because I just think that's women's nature. That's because when it comes down to it, if you want to have a traditional household, that's something. Your husband's gonna want some children. You're gonna be pregnant, and most people prefer to not work for a couple months, maybe even a year after pregnancy. Is the house gonna keep running smoothly from that? Does a woman have to be pressured to sit? I have to leave my nest after this point. She doesn't want to deal with that. You know. Pressure is meant for shoulders, not hips. You feel me? So when it comes to certain things like that, women prefer to be able to rely on a man in that situation. So it is natural. So like I said earlier, a woman being a competent adult is necessary. It's necessary. So I don't fault a woman for putting herself in a position to be able to take care of herself. Now, it really depends on how important you are to the team from that point.
Interesting. I love that. I wanted to ask you, so, you know, with Jade Edwards, for this season, you know, it seems like he's always like, I feel like he's sometimes I feel like with Jade Edwards, he's kind of in La La Land. Like he just doesn't know. Like I feel like his views are a bit unrealistic. Like
Okay.
he's looking for like this perfect, ideal woman. You know, I feel like on the recent episode, he spoke on how, you know, a woman should not be losing herself when she's in a relationship, and she should always be upkeeping with herself. But for me, I feel like a woman should be able to be comfortable around you. So if it means like she wants to take her wig off, sometimes she's having her bummy days. She ain't gonna be all this Insta baddie all the time. But sometimes she just wants to be. She wants to be free. She wants to be comfortable around you. What do you make of his statement sometimes? Because I feel like he's a bit. He's somewhere else sometimes.
On that statement, I understand what he's saying, but you gotta have room for gray area when it comes to that. Me in my situation, I don't mind when my woman wants to be comfortable, take the wig off, throw the bonnet on in the crib, in the house. You do these things in the house. You know, you get comfortable around me when we have our exclusive chill time. I don't mind that at all. But if it comes down to, you know, keeping things spicy, keeping things upbeat in a relationship, still, he was making points as far as sexual things as well. So making sure you still pushing the boundaries to grow sexually and to keep the intimacy up at a high rate, that is a relationship. But also making sure your partner is able to be as comfortable as possible with you, that's top tier as well, because a woman looks to a man as a safe space, you know, a sanctuary, whatever you want to call it, as far as you want to look at your man for your peace or whatever like that, your safe space. You want to be able to unwind as well. And ladies, if a man provides that to you, you also want to be able to give him a treat every once in a while. More often than not, give him a treat, far as come out looking beautiful. Let's go on a date. You just the baddest in the room, dressing how you want to dress. Being on point. Just being on point, you know?
But what if the lady just wants to wear a bonnet outside and she wants to go to the supermarket at Walmart? What's that shop that you guys call it? Is it what Target? What
Walmart?
Yeah, Walmart. So
not a lot of bonnet wearers go to Target. They go to Walmart. That's where they go.
Okay, so if your lady wanted to go to Walmart with a bonnet on, is that an issue? Is that a problem?
Yeah. It's a problem. It's a problem because I want you to be putting. See, it's different now because we got these big masks on these big Pampers on our face. So days. So we not even holding ourselves at the normal standards. Everything is the standards have dropped because of COVID. But a bonnet inside a Walmart, no, you don't have to do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Nah, I'm not rocking with it. It's for the house or just getting up out of bed.
I mean, if I've had a shower in the morning, I'm looking decent, but I can't be bothered to do my hair, but I've got my bonnet on. How can that be an issue?
What's your list? I'll go get the things. What you need? I'll run it.
But what's wrong with? Okay, so why is it okay for you guys to be wearing a do-rag outside, but then it's not okay for us to wear a bonnet?
I don't think it's okay.
Oh, you don't think it's okay?
Nah. Even when previously I had dreadlocks. And my hair used to be wasn't kept all the time. So sometimes when I did videos, I throw a do-rag on just because my hair wasn't retwisted. But when I'm going outside the house, take the do-rag off, make sure I'm on point, prepare myself, step outside the house to be presentable, because you never know who you may run into. You never know. And you just want to make sure you have pride in yourself at all times outside.
That's a good point. You always need to show up your best at all times.
Different because I am a content creator. I look at myself as a public figure, so it may be different from me as far as my expectations. I remember one day I was walking to some place with my lady probably like a month or so ago, and she was like, "I wonder if I look right," because I don't want people to look like, "Oh, that's your girlfriend looking like that." And that's, you want to represent your partner. Certain videos that I do, things that I say, I'm thinking back in my mind, all right, am I representing myself and the people that's affiliated with me the right way? To put my best foot forward, because you never know who may see you at all times.
That's true. You made me think of it on a different side. So yeah, I definitely agree with you in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of, like being at home, I feel like you should be able to be comfortable with your man, you know, just be free with your man. Which brings me to my next question. So on the recent episode, the one that we're just talking about,
Okay.
there was a few things that Jade Edwards was saying in terms of, you know, what is it that you bring to the table? You're asking too much from a man, but what is it that you bring to the table? Now, I had to agree with Deanie. Like, we bring a whole lot to the table.
Okay.
A whole lot. But then it's like, are we asking for too much? Like, is it something that, you know, why is it that men tend to think that they can't make an effort, they can't bring like a lot to the table when we're bringing so much? It might not be a lot to you guys, but we're bringing a whole lot, you know, as a woman.
Everyone is the main character in their own story. So we always think that we are overdoing everything that we bring is a whole lot. But really when it comes down to it is like I said, based on the team, what can you provide to the team? How can you make my life easier? Because sometimes women come to the relationship and they can make your life tougher. Being with you going to make my life easier. When I'm going through a rough day, can I come to you for peace? Can I come to you for refuge? Are you going to bring that to me? That's some things that men, especially men that are more so set in their careers have a vision, has a destination. They don't need much more from a woman as far as if it comes to provision or cash, monetary things. This is maybe I'm speaking more on a personal take. Even if a woman makes a great amount of money to me, that money is no good to me, in my opinion, in my personal opinion. So what's important to me is, if I have a rough day at work, am I going to come home and have to fight with you as well? Am I going to compete with you as well based on opinions and how we should move along in this relationship? That's me personally. That's what my values lie. Another man, they may want more of a partnership when things come to it. So they may want a woman to have the house and monetary things on point as far as what they bring to the table. That's what another man may want. So I can't speak towards that. But I don't think a lot of women understand all the different aspects in relationships that are necessary to make it run smooth. I don't think they understand that. I think a lot of sometimes women put themselves in a position as men themselves and say, all right, if I get my finances up, I get my education and those things, and I bring that to the table. I bring those things to the table relationship that makes me more wanted as a partner. Yeah. It's not like that all the time.
Which brings me to that whole topic that they spoke on in terms of, if your wife earned 3 times more, would you be happy with that? Would you settle with that? What do you make of that? Like, would you be okay with your lady making 3 times more and you being the staying-at-home husband? Like,
okay, we were going good until you said stay-at-home husband. I can't do it. I'm ambitious. I have my journey, and I know where I want to go. So I can't be a stay-at-home husband. I can't do that.
But then she's giving you pocket money. You're getting some pocket money. She's giving you some money.
I don't want no pocket money for my lady. Like, come on. Come on. Like, drip me down. Like, I don't want that.
What's wrong with that?
I'm not into that. Like, nah. If we are A1 and we working on some business together and we are building something far as like, all right, she's saying, all right, I'm going to invest as far as a business idea, and I know that you don't have it right now. And I want to make sure that you are able to transition to be to put your ideas in motion, and you may need cash for those things. All right, let's put this money in this area, and we're gonna work together as a team, a partnership as far as that. That's different rather than someone just splurging on me. Like, I don't want that. I can't do nothing for me. And I still don't want to put a lady in a position like that to have to provide for me, like a parent. Like,
and then you're not having a say in anything, and she's in control of you, and she basically owns you. You know. That's
crazy. Because even vice versa, being a man in a position of provision I don't even want to control a woman to that point. So I don't want a woman to do that to me. Especially, I definitely do not want a woman to do that to me. So it's very, you gotta be careful when it comes to that. Because some things that they were saying, like, I don't think it should be that way. A lot of times women see men do certain things, or they have this they have this character in their mind as far as like what they think men are. And they want to adapt those things and say women can be those things too. But a lot of times it's the toxic traits that they see have, and they want to adapt those things. And I don't think and that could lead to a lot of tough situations, especially when it comes to relationships. Like, why do women want to have the same control to be hoes and stuff like that? Why do they want to be cheaters? Fight for that description of a man? I don't know.
That's interesting because, during that conversation, Ikra was very vocal. She was very bold with what she was saying. And I don't know why everybody was so surprised and shocked with what she was saying, even though I don't agree with it in terms of, you're giving all the man the power to basically be like, basically him being like the main provider. Yeah. I feel like for me, you should be able to have your own, you should be able to have something of your own. So then he won't have to throw it back at you like, oh, I own you, I have you, all of that stuff. But when I interviewed her, I kind of understood what she meant in terms of like, I should be able to live a good life, a lavish life. And that's not to say that he is in control of me. I should have my own money, but then I shouldn't have to be that person where, as women, we go through a lot, we're always with the children, we're always holding the house down. Like, I want him to step up. Like, I feel like that's not much to ask, but I feel like she has a traditional culture within her. Like, this is quite common, especially in the Somali community. To the point that she said that she wouldn't mind being a third wife or a second wife. In Islam, it's okay to be one of the wives, one of the 4 wives. It's normal.
Yeah. So listen, everyone can have their own walk of life. There's no right answer. There's no right answer. So everyone can have, as far as like what the expectations are in life, it's just put yourself in a position to get those things. And you may need to talk to somebody that's on the opposite spectrum to be able to evaluate you and say, listen, you may want these things, but I don't know if you are going to be able to compete for them. So what do you think about competing for men? Do you think that's a thing as a woman? Do you think you have to compete for the man that you want?
No.
No?
No, I don't have to compete with anything. I'm only my own competition, okay?
Oh, come on now. Come on. You got to
compete.
Every single time you step out, you wake up, you're in a competition for something. So you compete for your job. You compete for views on Instagram, YouTube. You compete for those things, your career, but you don't compete for the person you want to spend the rest of your life with.
I wouldn't say compete.
It's a competition.
How is it a competition though?
Because there's somebody out here that want the man that you want too.
I wouldn't call it a competition.
Okay, what would you call it? What would you call it?
I would say I wouldn't compete over a man. That's a bit extreme,
We compete over y'all. Come on now. We compete.
Okay.
We be in the gym getting right. You guys, a lot of you
guys say that you get right for yourself. You're trying to get healthy for yourself, right?
No. That's a lie. That's a big lie. No, we want to look the best. We want to be able to look good, and we want to show that we are able to protect our one. When we compete in our jobs, we want to be able to beat the next person out for whatever position to get the most money to be able to be the best provider. We in competition daily, and then those things we sit down with a woman for the first time, and she asks, "This is what I do at my job," and then she get a ballpark of how much you make. She look at you and your whatever you got on, see a nice physique. She's like, okay. And she gonna compare you to other dudes that she went out on a date with. You want to be better than those guys because you're competing for that woman. We compete.
But the thing is, like, like going back to your point, you know, you're saying that, you know, you're trying to look good for, you know, for the ladies. But I feel like for a lot of women, especially for the independent ladies, they're out here trying to look good for themselves. Like whether they're together or not. Oh, you don't agree with that?
They are trying to look good for themselves, but once again, what I said earlier, what important is that to the team, for the team? And the independence thing, I rock with it. I understand. I look at it more of being a competent adult, doing the necessities and necessary things. But what good is that to me if that's not going to benefit me? You could be over there, do your thing. I'm going to clap it up for an independent queen all the damn time. But if that does not benefit your partner, then it's really nothing. So, but if you are establishing that I'm putting myself in the best position to get the man that I want, you know, it's going to be competition out there. But I don't know.
I would say it's a healthy competition. It's one of them ones you're grafting or you're being thirsty with it. I think it's more of a healthy competition.
Okay.
You know, some people, I don't know. It's. I agree with you to an extent.
Okay.
But oh my god, you got me wondering now. Am I competing?
It's a competition. It's okay. It's okay. Man, we want to feel wanted.
Oh, okay.
Me, like, what's wrong with that? Why such a thing? Like, I don't need no man. No, need me, want me, love me.
But then the thing is, okay, that brings me to the point of what Deanie was saying.
Okay.
I could be with someone if I wanted to. That's her own words. But I'm choosing not to be with someone because I'm focusing on me. I'm working on me and what I got going on.
Okay.
You know, and I feel like a lot of women can relate to that. Like, we don't need a man. We don't need a man. Like, we just, some of us are fine being by ourselves. We're fine being single.
Okay.
You don't believe that?
I mean, if that's what you truly want, to be single, you want solitude. If you truly want that, that's okay. But is it something like in the future I want to be married? In the future I want to have children, stuff like that. That's what it is.
Oh, definitely. One day, but not now. You know what I mean? So I feel like when you're ready, then definitely there's nothing wrong with that. But then as for now, there's nothing wrong with just being by yourself.
Okay. At what point do you turn that? All right, I got to switch to that point. And why can't these same things be done within a relationship? Why can't it?
It's a distraction.
Distraction?
Yeah. I feel like relationships are a distraction sometimes.
Can be. It can be.
I feel like for some women, they be, like I said in my last point, like for some women, I feel like not as much now, but for some women, it's like, it becomes a distraction to them because it's like, they're holding the man down. It's all about the guy. It's all about their partner. And then they forget about themselves. They lose themselves because they're just so focused on the relationship and what the partner got going on.
That's true. I could see it in that case. I could see it. And it's like, once again, there's no right answers. His life is. But
do you agree with that to an extent? Do you think people?
To an extent, yes. I also believe, like, once again, back to everything is stacking fundamentally. When I think about how relationships are, I think it's very less pressure on women as far as her position in her career, and how that works within the dynamic of the relationship. I think personally that a lot of these things a woman can do within a relationship, because based on her ability to provide, she's given slack in those things. So she could still be working towards her career in a relationship. And if the man is not, if you are younger, it's probably less precious to have children at that point in time. And you could be able to freely work throughout your career while having a partner that's going to give you protection and provision at the same time while you freely doing those things. But that may be a best case scenario for some people. Everyone may not have that ability. So I understand. Once again, it's going to be a common thing I say all the time. There's no right answers.
But they do say is, there's nothing wrong with being in a relationship and working on your goals and dreams. You can do both if you want to. And it depends what partner, who's your partner with? Is that partner supportive? Do they support you? Are they there for you? I feel like it can happen, but for a lot of the times, I feel like it's just a bit of a pressure sometimes. It's a
Yeah.
bit stressful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is stressful. Because one thing about it when it comes to relationships,
It's about compromise as well. So
you always have someone else to answer. You always have to think for two when you're in a relationship. So
yeah.
they want to do, even when it comes to me, I am in a relationship. Even when it comes to ideas for videos, some things I gotta think as far as what I say, because I don't want to offend my partner. I gotta make sure I can't do this to offend my partner. It may stunt my growth for certain things, or certain collaborations, or certain things. You just always have to think for two. And that's just in my personal situation. But can become a distraction if your partner is going through certain things, and you need to be there for them. So you have to be selfless in certain situations. That can take you away from whatever your goals are.
That's true.
But once again, I think it all continues to come down to the expectations of men and women in relationships. A woman has more leeway when it comes to as far as her value relationship, because she can go off track a little bit and still remember her value, because she may not go off track physically, she may not go off track emotionally. If a man goes off track as far as career wise, he could mess up his position to gain ability to provide an income. Those things can mess himself up, and that point that drops his value as a man. Based on what I hear that women want.
Yeah.
If I'm, let me know.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, let me know.
I feel like you have a point to an extent. I definitely agree with you. But I feel like it's very tricky sometimes, you know, when it comes to being in a relationship. Like, you know, you gotta be selfless. Like, you gotta be selfless at times. You gotta compromise at times. And I feel like that's what kind of is a bit wary for some women. And I don't understand why women tend to just take a step back and be like, you know what, I'm gonna work on myself. And when I'm ready, to put myself out there, and when I'm ready to compete, then I'm ready. You know, I'm ready to put myself out there. Competition. But I wanted to actually speak on what did you make of the debate that they had going on for the whole, you know, if your son was gay topic? What did you make of that?
You get into the nitty gritty now. Okay. Now, that was a very intense situation.
It was very heated.
Very heated. That was the most heated one I can remember seeing this season. That is a very intense situation. When it comes down to that, I understand all points, but at the same time, it becomes a point where you're not only just wanting people to respect your walk of life, but you want people to adapt your walk of life as well. And that's down to that situation. And in that situation, the homie, he was holding his religious standards very, very strongly. And his mind, his idea, his religion was just as strong as their sexual preference when it comes to his priority in his life. So when it came down to certain crossroads, he wasn't willing to cross those things for religion-wise. And they were trying to press it onto him, but at some point, you are now being the aggressor and the bully when it's vice versa. And I understand a lot of people that are in the LGBTQ community, they had tough upcomings when it comes to people respecting who they were as a person, so they have to overcompensate a lot when it comes to that, far as giving their respect. But it becomes a very, very tough situation when you may go to far as like projecting them onto people when they're not, when people are not accepting you, people are not looking down on you, but they just don't want to adapt it to their own person, like to affect themselves personally. But that was a very sticky situation. It's a touchy situation, so it's going to be met with a lot of resistance from both sides.
Do you feel like the way the cast members handled that situation, do you feel like Emmanuel deserved everyone jumping on him and ganging up on him?
No, I do not think that they should have ganged up on him that way. They should have respected his opinion. Because like, you know, sometimes even in relationships, when someone says this is what they want, but sometimes people come with different scenarios to try to change their opinion as far as like, you know, what if it's this way? What if it's that way? No, this is what I want. This is how I feel. This is what it is. So it doesn't matter how many different scenarios you throw at me. This is what it is. And then it came to a point that they were attacking his character, and based on just because he would have moved off there, and they were kind of like, I wouldn't say projecting, but they were going to certain extremes that I don't think really that he aligns with, trying to characterize him, and I didn't think it was fair because they became the bullies that they hate themselves.
Oh, interesting. What do you make of Gade? Do you like Gade?
It's tough with Gade. Tough with Gade. I don't know him as a person to say if I like him or not.
But like in terms of the show and in terms of what you see, who is like one of your most favorite cast member for this season?
Gade is not one of my most favorite cast.
Why does everyone hate Gade? I love Gade.
Because he works good for entertainment.
Yeah.
Entertainment factor, he's good. He's a great entertainer. But sometimes I think the lines blur when it comes to his opinions, because sometimes things are just shock value and they don't lie well when it comes to, like, you know, the pushback. And sometimes when it comes to certain things that he was saying, especially in the earlier answers, he was being very hypocritical when it came to certain things. So it was tough for me to, like, you know, to vouch for him, because some things were very hypocritical. But once again, I don't, as an entertainer, I can't take nothing away from him. But when it comes to that hot room doing Bkchat, things could be tough when your ideology gets challenged by other people.
So who's your most favorite cast member for this season then?
I don't have one favorite, but a lot of times, you know, things become. A lot of times, there are a few.
Okay, so who are the few then?
I like Adifolake. That's the homie. I like, as far as a representative of the LGBTQ community, Brandon's dope.
I love Brandon.
Very level-headed in all his and everything. Trying to think of some more people. Jadine, she's cool. Even though I don't always agree with things that she says, but she's always strong with how she feels. The girl that was pregnant that had the lip ring.
Sharla, I love Sharla. It's funny because they haven't been putting her in the debates as much, because I feel like she brings a lot. I know she was pregnant for most of it, but we need Charlotte in there.
Yeah, cool. It's cool. You know, so a lot of people, sometimes people that I don't agree with, I can still respect them if they're level-headed, they're able to articulate themselves well, and they seem like they can have the conversation. So those folks, Jesse, I like Jesse because I feel like he's also a level-headed person that can see both sides. Yeah, definitely. And I can't think of more names, but those are the people mostly that, you know, are definitely like the Lonnie cool too. Lonnie does necessary things.
I think Lonnie is she's pure entertainment. She's just entertainment. Like she's amazing. I think without Lonnie, that season would have been as good, probably.
Exactly, she's necessary. She gives the Esther and Lucas vibes of the show.
Ooh, interesting. Are those what your two favorite from the previous season then?
Nunu, probably my favorite castmate.
Really?
I like Nunu because no matter what, she was her. She didn't care.
She didn't care, yeah.
She was young, so it was very entertaining that she didn't care. And even when everyone was all on her head, she still was coming strong. She was like, you know, this is who I am, whatever it is. So Nunu was my favorite castmate.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But anyways, Stacey, thank you so much for coming to my platform. I really enjoyed this topic. I feel like you actually opened my eyes a little bit.
Hey.
I didn't actually expect it, but I really enjoyed the conversation. Any last words? Where can they find you?
You can find me at I'm Stacey on Instagram, and YouTube and Twitter. Everything is Yeah, I'm Stacy, YeaImStacie. We have a lot more original content coming on my channel. I started off doing a lot of reactions during the pandemic because I couldn't be outside. But I'm going to be doing a lot more interactive material on my main channel. A second channel is going to come that's going to be solely for reactions and stuff. Have more discussions, but the main channel is going to be like, especially conversations like this. So I definitely want you to come as well on the
I'd
main
love that. That'll be so much fun.
Yeah, so it's gonna be fun. Have some fun, talk a lot of stuff, and grow together, and put our ideas up against each other and try to grow as people. It's all it's
You also
about.
have a TikTok as well. Do you still use your TikTok?
I don't use it as much. Sometimes I use it just as promotion, but in the future, I'm going to start actually creating content just for Instagram, Reels, and TikTok.
Amazing.
Everything is Yeah, I'm Stacy.
You know what? I loved how you started doing content like, interviewing people outside. I love that.
Thank you.
I love that. I think it was like the people were so interactive, and the topics that you was bringing, colorism and relationships. Like, I love that. I was like, oh my God, I need to see more of this.
Yeah, we got some more comments coming soon. I have one comment that's gonna be releasing probably next week as far as the first dates, expectations on first dates and stuff like that. So that's gonna be cool. That was a good one. It's Rolling Loud this weekend here. Are you familiar with Rolling Loud?
Yeah.
I didn't throw my mask on because the COVID is going a little crazy. May go out and throw my mask on and have a few more conversations to have a lot more episodes in the can to release.
Ooh, interesting. So when are they going to be released then?
The next episode of Reporting Live from the Streets, that's going to be released next I would say next Saturday. Saturday. That'll be on point. And I also have for people that like sports, you got the Olympics coming. I have a podcast that's starting. The first episode is going to be released today, but we're talking about things as far as the Olympics, people that like NFL. My fellas, we talking about NFL, NBA, all those different things. It's on Player Sanctuary podcast with my home. So that's gonna be for all the fellas that like talking sports.
That is amazing. I'm so excited to see all of that. But guys, make sure you check Yeah, I'm Stacy out. Everything Yeah, I'm Stacy. His content coming out, reporting live, his podcast. If you're interested in sports and all that jazz, I'm ready for all of that. I'm so excited to see it because your content is fire. Like,
thank you. You just starting too.
I'm ready. I'm ready for everything that you're about to bring out. But thank you so much. And I wish you an amazing day, an amazing new week. And I shall speak to you later.